What's up, y'all? It's Flat Earth Bob here. I'm starting this GoFundMe because I would like to send one, if not multiple, satellites as far into space as I can, or into orbit as I can, to find the curve. I'm looking for the curve.
Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson and rapper B.O.B. are having a planetary started on dispute. Twitter spilled over into a back-and-forth diss track battle in which B.O.B. told Tyson he needs to loosen up his vest. Before long, Tyson fired back with his own response titled Flat to Fact, which he tweeted out and features his nephew Steven Tyson rapping. Tyson used his platform on The Nightly Show to fire back at Flat Earther B.O.B. On the talk show, Tyson commented, B.O.B. is free to think the world is flat, but since his position as a successful rapper, like being a presidential candidate, means he has influence over others, therefore being wrong becomes being harmful to the health, the wealth, and the security of our citizenry.
There are a group of people that absolutely and honestly believe in 2016, the earth is flat. The earth is flat. Now, I'm looking right out there at Neil deGrasse Tyson. Is he still out there? Yeah. Neil deGrasse Tyson is out in our lobby right now. And I'm thinking, how, in this day and age, when there are so many brilliant people, do people honestly believe the world is flat? I was watching these videos, and they're explaining it. They're trying to explain science. Scientifically, yes, Tila Tequila believes she is one of these people that believe the world is flat. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Is there a way to get Neil in here for 2 seconds to explain this? Can he come on mic for a couple of seconds? Neil, I got to get an answer to this. Neil, if you could just take a seat for a second. I need an answer to this. I saw something over the weekend.
Just seat this. You got the microphone, the seat.
Yeah.
It's all ready for somebody to come in.
Just in case. Just in case. We never know.
All right. Well,
I was watching some videos over the weekend that were preposterous.
Yeah.
There are so many conspiracy theories and whatnot around that you can't even keep track of them. This one blew my mind. The Earth is flat. Have you heard the flat earther people that believe the Earth is flat?
this is a deep failure of our educational system.
Thank you.
I've stopped chasing after people with those belief systems because I don't see the point. There's something deeper going on in our society that somehow enables people to believe they're making cogent arguments when they're not.
They're not.
And so, you know why? I think it is. The way we teach science is you're just some empty vessel and we pour the science into you and then you regurgitate it on an exam.
Right.
Whereas science is a way of thinking. It's a way of understanding and probing.
Let me briefly explain what this is all about. They think that the Earth is flat. Now, it looks like you ever see a flat globed map from the North Pole? It's
Flattens out, yeah.
They use that as their flat template. Around the edge is Antarctica, which is an ice rim that resides along so you can't fall off. Okay. You have to go over what would be Antarctica. Mm-hmm. Now, the rest of it is in the middle. Now, I'm watching this going, well, wouldn't the equator, which is supposed to be the furthest distance you could travel on the planet, wouldn't that be shorter than the distance if you went around Antarctica?
You are thinking rationally about this.
Well, apparently I am. But they didn't have an answer for that.
So even this very morning, I tweeted, because today is the first full day of Ramadan, which is a holy day in the Muslim calendar. And in Ramadan, you fast during the day and you get to eat at night. Okay, so it's 40 days of fasting. I think 40.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a long time.
So maybe it's not, whatever the number of days, you're fasting during the day when the sun is up, and then you get to eat at night. Well, it turns out, I was recently in Dubai, where they have the tallest building in the world, and I did a quick calculation, and I confirmed it with others there, that, in fact, they print separate tables for residents at the top of this building because the sun sets later if you are at the top of that building than if you are at the base, because that building, and you have it up there now, that's the actual tweet from the top. This building is 30% taller than what the World Trade Center was. It's crazy tall, and that's a picture I took while I was visiting Dubai. So the sun sets 2 minutes later for you at the top because you're seeing that much farther over the Earth, curvature of the Earth. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they'd have an answer for that.
Well, they can't. They wouldn't.
But here's what they say the sun is. Here's how they explain day and night and whatnot. So you got the flat Earth right there. The sun is over this plate that is the Earth, and it rotates or revolves around a center axis, and that way you get day and night on there. But meanwhile, oh, by the way, I didn't tell you this. The sun is only 4,000 miles away on this plate. 4,000 miles away.
Yeah, that's
This is, but people believe it.
It's 860,000 miles across.
Now you're just splitting hairs.
I know, I'm sorry. Yeah,
you're just splitting.
Okay, so now here's the thing. We live in a free country. I will never want to legislate what people think. We were at war. Simply. Yeah. We were at war. And when Sputnik was launched, Sputnik wasn't just some spacecraft. It was a hollowed-out intercontinental ballistic missile shell where they put a radio transmitter, and it flew over our heads, outside of our airspace, because it was in our space, if you will. Right. And if you do that, if you can send a radio transmitter in an intercontinental ballistic missile head, you can send a nuclear warhead. Mm-hmm. And so this is why we freaked out. And NASA was formed a year later, and thus began the space race. So it wasn't just pride. There was a perception that it was in the interest of national security. So, and this is why we go to the moon. Now we find out Russia's not going to the moon after we arrive there, and we beat them there, and we're done. Yeah. That's why we were not on Mars by 1985, as everyone thought we were. Right. People thought we'd be on Mars. Moon 1969, Mars by 1980, which would only be 11 years later. Well, why weren't we on Mars? People who thought we'd be on Mars thought we went to the moon because we're explorers and we're discoverers and we're Americans. No, because we were scared shitless. That's right. Why. And then once we didn't have the reason to be scared because Russia was not gaining space as the high ground, all that money dried up. That's why the last Apollo mission was 17. We didn't even send 18, even though we built the rockets to do so. We said we're done here. On to the next problem. So don't confuse yourself. Don't delude yourself into thinking we went to the moon because it's in our DNA.
Actually,
That's all delusional cleansing of your memory of the past.